Kyle, very good to see you. We start with an important question. What is a good monthly retirement income? And I want to start with some data. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average annual expenses for a person 65 plus in 2021 was $52,000, which comes out to about $4,000 a month. But of course, no two people are alike. So figuring out how much money you will need is going to depend on your unique retirement goals and lifestyle. But we do have some prompts to help walk through that will help get us to a number. So the first one, Kyle, is that you need to picture your ideal retirement and be as specific as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Aaron. This is the $1 million question when everyone retires is what's my budget going to be?
Yeah.
What is it going to look like? What am I going to do? You have to do a little bit of soul searching to do that. Or maybe not, because you'd be surprised. A lot of people want to come in and say, hey, I love my lifestyle the way that it is. I really do. We have fun, we travel, we do the things we like to do. I want to try to maintain as much of that as best I can. And sometimes that's what most of our work is how do we recreate or get as much of that same lifestyle that people are used to living without making big concessions once they retire.
Mhm. And next, you do need to know what you're spending now. So track your expenses and create a spending plan.
We've been doing these for a very long time, right? Bring your budget. I want to know how much you spend every month. But we've actually started a new approach that we can use as well. So we can look at the itemized budget and see what does it cost for you to live each month. And then we can back into that using what you've saved in the most tax efficient way possible, right? Or we can look at how much have you saved? And what kind of income is this going to kick off to you throughout your retirement? So we can create a budget that we know we can sustain and say, is this something that you feel comfortable with? Is this the type of lifestyle that you're envisioning or that you currently have? And we can answer that question. Can I retire? Do I need to keep working or do I need to keep saving?
Yeah, that's great. So I can walk into your office, tell you this is my pile of money. Can I retire today? And you'd say, well, if you can get by on this, right?
You give me a little bit of time, I'll exactly tell you that. Yep.
All right. Next, you need to consider common risk factors, including inflation, longevity, and changes to Social Security.
This is a big one. We've seen a lot of changes. Secure Act came out and that had some
Mhm.
really big changes across the board. And then a couple of years later, we had Secure Act 2.0. And so there's always little things that can change that can make it. You need to make adjustments to your plan. If you don't pay attention for too long, though, you do run the risk of derailing the plan altogether. And that's absolutely what we want to avoid. So we take a lot of that headache out of the picture for clients. We're doing the dirty work. We're reading the acts. We're trying to understand what's going to change for you and making sure you get that information.
Mhm. Next, you say, of course, you need to build a robust nest egg, but more than that, it needs to be a tax diversified nest egg. Why is that?
That's a big one. I love the word robust there because things are taxed differently in this world. Where you're
Mhm.
saving money has a big impact on how you're going to take that money out. And we don't spend a lot of time generally thinking about that while we're saving. But when you get to retirement, especially if you retire before 65, just like this graphic's showing, money is taxed in different ways. And if you're retiring before 65 and you're on an ACA plan, for example, and you're getting a subsidy, well, you want to be very cognizant of what kind of money you're pulling out, because if it's all taxable, you got to say bye-bye to that subsidy, right? And it's not too different on the Medicare side when you're dealing with IRMAA. So if we can build a plan that's got some tax-free money in there, and I'm talking about building a Roth bucket early in the transition to retirement, it's a huge advantage.
And last, you need to determine if you want to leave anything behind. And if you do, you should probably work with a financial advisor who can help you create a legacy plan.
This is a big one because it's not just the numbers, right? It's not just a spreadsheet of here's what my descendants are going to get from me when I pass away. We need to understand legally, right? And from a tax standpoint, we need to make sure we get all parties working together. So that sometimes involves getting an estate planning attorney and an accountant to make sure that we get the right team for you and make sure that your assets move to the next generation the way you want them to move.
Also in a tax efficient manner, speaking of taxes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, it's great to talk this through. So if somebody would like to come to you to find out what their own unique number is, what's the best way to reach you?
We love talking retirement income. Best way to reach us is through our website. That's firstcoastfinancialgroup.com.
Great. Kyle, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Aaron.